One of the things that the cross reveals is just how much the world hated Jesus. They didn't just dislike Jesus. They didn't just reject him. They hated him. They hated him so much that they were willing to go against everything that they stood for to get rid of Jesus. If you want to know how far they were willing to go, you can look at John 19:15. In that verse, the Roman governor Pilate is trying to get Jesus to go free, knowing that he's innocent. But the high priest and the Jewish leaders are insistent that Jesus must be crucified. Listen to this chilling exchange. John 19:15. But they cried out, "Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him!" Pilate saith unto them, "Shall I crucify your king?" The chief priest answered, "We have no king but Caesar." If you know anything about Israel in this period, you know how absolutely shocking that bit of conversation is. The Jewish leaders were in a constant standoff with the Romans over recognizing Caesar. Not long before this, Pilate had threatened to murder all of the leaders over their opposition to images of Caesar in Jerusalem. And these Jewish leaders had taken a knee as if to say, "Go ahead and kill me, but we won't bow to Caesar." But here, when it looked like Pilate would let Jesus go, the chief priest said publicly, "We have no king but Caesar." Now listen, you got to understand, that's like Martin Luther King Jr. endorsing racism. That's like Donald Trump praising the mainstream media or Greta Thunberg doing commercials for the gas industry. "We have no king but Caesar" is one of the most shocking things ever said. And why'd they say it? Because they hated Jesus Christ. They hated him. He wasn't just a threat. He wasn't just a nuisance. They hated him so much they wanted him killed. Now, Jesus predicted this a few chapters earlier. In John 15:24, Jesus said, "If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now they both have seen and hated both me and my Father." The reason they hated Jesus is because he exposed them, because he was a light that shone on them and showed the darkness of their hearts. Jesus was so pure and so holy that he ripped off the thin veil of self-righteousness that they had and showed them how wicked they were, and they hated it. So they put him on a cross. And listen, were Christ to come again today, they would crucify him again. The heart of mankind has not changed. Throughout the last 2,000 years of human history, many have come with the heart of Christ and lived as true Christians. And the same hatred has worked against them. This world hates Jesus. But you know what? Jesus still died for them. He died for his enemies. In fact, one of the biggest enemies of Christ, certainly a man who would have been party to Jesus going on the cross and a persecutor of the early church, became Paul the Apostle that wrote about half the New Testament. I know people who hate God and hate Christ and are very vocal about it. And I have to remind myself sometimes that God doesn't hate them. In fact, Christ died for them. We rejected him, but he died for us.